All right, so we cannot talk about reproductive management of a beef cow operation without talking about how we manage bulls. And so, bull management isn't as intense as heifers or as cows, but we do need to think about managing them during the non breeding season, prior to the breeding season, and then during the breeding season. And so, one of the things that is a big challenge for cow calf guys is when we bring new genetics into the herd in the form of yearling bulls or new bulls. And so if you are um, using yearling bulls, you need to take some considerations in mind because they aren't going to be able to perform as well as a mature bull that has been a part of your bull battery for a few years. And so yearling bulls need a really moderate ratio of cows. So usually 15 to 20 cows or heifers per bull. Some people go less than that, some people go more than that. Keep in mind though that that ratio is really going to be dependent on the ground that you're running on. So if it's really flat ground like irrigated pasture or doesn't have a lot of topography, you're fine to probably go to 20 cows or to 20 cows per the bull. But if you're in a range situation where feed is a little bit harsh, he's never been there before, etc., then you may want to back it off to 10 to 15 cows. So bulls need to be in an increasing plane of nutrition, and this is an area that I get a lot of questions about. So we need bulls to be in a good body condition score and basically gaining weight as they go into the breeding season because they're going to go to work. So they're going to use a lot of calories during that breeding season. One thing that has become a problem in the beef industry is that bulls are actually being purchased and they are really way too fat. So they may be like a 6.5 or a 7 body condition score. And the mentality has been because fat sells. So a bull that it has a lot of condition on them or a lot of fat on them is better to look at than a bull that doesn't. And so that can actually be as much of a problem as a bull that is way too thin. And so you have to take those kind of things into consideration. If you buy a bull that is really heavy, you may want to bring him home and put him on a diet program for 30 days prior to turning him out. And you want to make sure that he's still fertile during that time period as well. Okay, and then just a point from personal experience, don't house yearling bulls with mature bulls in a small pasture because they are going to fight and the little guy is going to lose. So that leads to unsoundness and major issues, sometimes broken legs, broken penises, etc. And so you have to just be really cognizant of bull behavior. And so, as we think about the pre-breeding period with bull management, we need to make sure that that bulls are fertile about 60 days before the breeding season. And we recommend 60 days before the breeding season because it takes 60 days to generate a liable or a fertile sperm cell. And so if you have something that is wrong, like you have a bull with an infection, you can clear it up, but it's going to take 60 days to actually produce more viable sperm. And so that's why it's really important that you are checking fertility through a breeding soundness exam at least 60 days before turning those bulls out with the cows. And so that breeding soundness exam, I'm going to take you through how we manage bulls at home. I've got some videos that I'm going to show you. But basically consists of a physical examination. They'll do that rectally. They'll also palpate the testicles. They'll measure testicular size because testicular size is a great indicator of, and this says rams, and it should be a bull's sperm producing ability, sorry. And so person doing the physical exam will also palpate the epididymis, which is on the very bottom of the scrotal sac, and that's where the sperm reserves are going to be. So we want to make sure that because it's in such close contact to the ground, there's no damage done to the epididymis. And then it's also a good time to check other physical attributes. So what do their eyes look like? Do they have good feet and legs? Is the prepuce healthy? Is the penis sound? It's not broken or has any issues. And also look at lameness, body condition scoring, anything that can affect breeding. And so once you do the breeding soundness exam, the physical examination, you're then going to collect a semen sample using either an artificial vagina or an electro-ejaculator. That's what we did in the case I'm going to show you in just a second. Or you can manually stimulate through the rectum as well. It takes a really good technique though. And once you collect the sperm sample, you're going to be checking for sperm motility, morphology, and white blood cells. And so I'm going to show you a video of how we manage bulls and a little bit about our operation. And then I'll voice over what's going on at the vet's office. Hi guys, welcome to your first virtual lab. Today is March 23rd. And we are getting ready to gather bulls and take them up to one of our vets. We employ many to do breeding soundness exams. And so I'll be honest, I hate working bulls. I wish we could do everything through AI, but it's just not reality. So artificial insemination is not going to get all of your cows bred at the same time. So we have bulls to help with that process. And actually, since about 2014, we actually haven't done any AI work at all. There's just too much going on in May between cow work, and that's the beginning of farming for our family as well, plus usually finals and graduation and all that stuff. So we have just let the bulls breed everything for the last few years. And so one of the critical pieces of management is to make sure that they are fertile. And so we do this once a year, and we like to do it about 60 days before the breeding season sets in. We've hit that target some years, and we have not hit that target some years. And this year we are actually well ahead of the curve. So we're actually going to turn our bulls out early. So we wanted to get this done today. And as long as the bulls are fertile today and pass their trick test for trichomoniasis, we are going to send our bulls to the valley to start breeding cows. And so I'll introduce you to my dad here in just a second. His name is Tom, and he's a unique individual, and I apologize ahead of time for the swearing and the cussing that will happen, because we deal with animals that aren't always super predictable. So I'm going to turn you around right now, and hopefully if I can figure this out, and I'll show you a little bit of the pen that we're gathering in. Hi guys, welcome to your first virtual lab. Alright, so this is one of our pastures. This is actually a small piece that we own. It's about, I think this piece is about 45 or 50 acres. This is a combination of bulls and first calf heifers. And so, and you can see we've got a pile of logs for wood there. There's Dad with the tractor. Because we really do not like working bulls ever, we are going to use several unique tools to our advantage today. So first and foremost, we usually bring horses to do this, but the bulls get super riled up when we bring horses. So Dad and I are trying to do everything with a tractor and a feed wagon. With a four-wheeler, and then on foot, because that is what these cattle are used to. They're used to being fed once a day, and so we try to utilize the tools that we use every day in order to gather. And so you can see we've got some spoiled cows that came right into hay, and then we've also got some cows that we're going to have to go gather and bring in. And then this is one of our bulls that we're going to take up to the vet today. So again, I hate bulls. They usually fight. They tear down corrals, and we have a couple that are really, really quite waspy, and so we're gonna just work really, really calm today. So there might be not a ton of footage of us actually gathering bulls, but we'll get the full breeding soundness exam procedure when we get up to the vet office. Our vet office is about an hour and a half away, so we're taking 2 trailers because we got to put bulls in different compartments because they don't like to travel together and they fight, and we don't want them to get hurt. So that is our current plan of attack, and I just heard Dad go start the 4-wheeler, and so we will try to get everything gathered up here in our little catch, and then we're going to slowly work cattle into the gathering pen. You can kind of see over the top of the cows by the silo, and then we'll load bulls. All right, so this video is going to be of the actual trick process, and so I'm going to just try to voice over what's going on here. And so this is our veterinarian, Dr. Ryan Hall, and he is actually using a strap, and he'll put it underneath the front legs of the animal, so in case they go down, they don't go all the way down to the bottom of the shoe and get hurt. And so this is the part of the physical examination. He's going to palpate the bull, and he's going to check for the vesicular glands and to see if there's any infection in the secondary or in the ampulla and the secondary sex organs. And then the vet tech here, Carrie, she is actually lubing up an electro-ejaculator, and it goes into the rectum of the bull and actually sets down on the vesicular glands. And that's going to help stimulate the bull to give us a semen sample. And it's all done through electricity. And Ryan really quickly there just went in and grabbed a scrotal circumference on the bull. So he cut away all the extra hair around the sheath to make sure that we have a clean sample. And now he is actually working the electro-ejaculator and sending increasing amounts of electricity to the ejaculator to get the bull to extend his penis and give us a sperm sample. And you can see the bull is contracting there, and he's starting to get a little bit of extension of the penis. This is important that we see the penis extended to make sure it doesn't have any lesions or anything on it. And this bull actually gave us a semen sample, it's not necessarily a semen sample, but this is the material that is produced by the prostate that is actually going to clean out the urethra tract. And so the semen actually will be coming secondly. So usually that first collection isn't very fertile. It doesn't have very many sperm cells in it. So we wait until he extends a little bit more and gives us a better sample. One. Ryan's just taking a slide and is just getting a dab of the ejaculate onto the slide, and then he will actually look at that underneath the microscope. All right, and then so I couldn't show you what was underneath the microscope because it was a little too hard to see with a cell phone, but Carrie is actually going to collect a sample for the trick test. And so the trichomoniasis test is where we take like a sheath for an AI gun and actually insert it up into the sheath between the penis and the skin wall, and we'll collect fluid out of that area, the prepuce area there. And that is where that trichomoniasis bacteria likes to live.
She's gonna watch you now, Carrie.
And so she's put a little bit of saline into the prepuce, and then she's sucked it back, and she is then going to put it into this trick pouch, and will seal up that trick pouch, and that is what goes to the diagnostic lab down at usually at UC Davis, but these guys actually use a diagnostic lab in Reno.